Look, there's an old saying that goes something like this: scared money don't make money. And my friend, that is exactly what's at stake right now. The Philadelphia Eagles are less than 2 weeks away from the 2026 NFL Draft, and a respected analyst is suggesting that Howie Roseman should make a decision that, in my opinion, could be the biggest planning mistake in years. We're talking about more than $500 million already committed, a group of players that let down the entire city of Philadelphia in 2025, and a championship window that will not stay open forever. If you get this wrong, my friend, there's no fixing it mid-season. I'm going to break down exactly what that decision is, why it would be catastrophic, and what the Eagles truly need to do in the first round to chase their third Super Bowl in a decade. But before that, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell, because the draft is coming, and I will keep you updated on everything that matters for the city of brotherly love. So here's the picture. After winning Super Bowl 59 in dominant fashion, the Eagles had a 2025 season they'd rather forget. The offense, which had been a near-perfect machine, completely stalled. Production dropped off a cliff. And because of that, legendary offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland was forced into retirement, and offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo was fired after just 1 season on the job. His replacement is Sean Mannion, a former NFL quarterback who spent 2 seasons as an offensive assistant with the Green Bay Packers. This will be Mannion's first season as an offensive coordinator in the league. High pressure, high risk, and it's in that exact context that ESPN analyst Ben Solak published a piece urging the Eagles to use their first-round pick in the 2026 draft on an offensive lineman. According to Solak, the unit that powered the Super Bowl run is suddenly in danger. Landon Dickerson and Jurgens are both returning from injury-hampered seasons. Tyler Steen is in a contract year. Lane Johnson is recovering from an ankle injury and was reportedly mulling retirement. Solak's take is that the Eagles need to invest in multiple offensive linemen to start in 2027 or earlier. That's what's being suggested. And that's exactly where I have to push back as hard as I possibly can. Let's talk money, because the numbers here are impossible to overlook. The Eagles' offensive line is made up of 4 players developed entirely within the organization: Johnson, Dickerson, Jurgens, and Jordan Mailata. All 4 were drafted by the Eagles. All 4 were built into elite pieces inside this system. And all 4 were rewarded with contracts that rank among the highest in the NFL at their respective positions. When those contracts run out, the Eagles will have paid this group a staggering $508.6 million in combined career earnings. Let me say that again, $508.6 million. Lane Johnson alone will hit $204.9 million. Jordan Mailata is set to collect $133.2 million. Landon Dickerson sits at $94.4 million. And Jurgens signed for $79.1 million. That is a colossal financial commitment to a group that, in 2025, delivered well below expectations. Now tell me, with all that money already invested in this offensive line, does it make any sense to use the most valuable asset in the draft? A first-round pick to add speculative depth. The drop was dramatic. There's no denying that. In 2024, Saquon Barkley became just the 9th player in NFL history to surpass 2,000 rushing yards in a single season. The offensive line opened massive holes, controlled the line of scrimmage throughout the year, and was the backbone of a championship run. In 2025, those numbers were nearly cut in half. Same group, same quarterback, completely different performance, and the organization responded by overhauling the entire offensive coaching staff. But here is an important point we cannot lose sight of. The players who make up that offensive line are still the same guys. Dickerson and Jurgens are returning from injury-hampered seasons. Injured players underperform. That's just the nature of the sport. Lane Johnson, even with the ankle issue and the retirement rumors, remains one of the best at his position when healthy. Mailata, despite the down year, is still a left tackle being paid like an elite player. With a new offensive coordinator bringing a fresh vision, it is entirely reasonable to expect this group to bounce back in 2026 without adding yet another expensive body at that position. And here is something that makes waiting around for 2027 an even more dangerous idea. The rest of the NFC is not standing still. The Detroit Lions are building with urgency. The Washington Commanders are a rising force. The Los Angeles Rams are never out of the conversation. Every team in this conference is trying to close the gap on Philadelphia right now. And they are doing it by addressing immediate needs, not by drafting for a future that may never come. If the Eagles spend their first-round pick on an offensive lineman, who won't be a starter for another year or two, they are essentially handing their rivals a free head start. In a conference law. So what do the Eagles truly need? The answer is in two places: edge rushers and wide receivers. And it doesn't take much to understand why. An elite defense needs pressure on the quarterback. Quarterback pressure wins games. It wins championships. And if there is one area where the Eagles need immediate reinforcement heading into 2026, it is on the defensive line, specifically at the pass rush positions. Adding a high-impact edge rusher in the first round isn't a luxury, it's an immediate necessity for a team with Super Bowl ambitions. In the same way, the wide receiver room has room to grow. With the offense going through a coaching overhaul, giving Jalen Hurts more weapons would be a performance accelerator. A receiver who can create separation, who can stress defenses vertically, gives Sean Mannion's new system tools that make the difference in the decisive moments of the playoffs. And wouldn't it be something to watch Hurts operating with a new dangerous weapon in the passing game in year one of a fresh offensive system? Taking a step back, think about what's really at stake here. The Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. Jalen Hurts is in his prime. The window is open. But championship windows don't stay open forever in the NFL. Any fan who follows this league knows that too well. A poorly planned draft, where you burn a first-round resource to speculate about 2027 needs, instead of attacking the needs of 2026, can cost you everything. And the worst part, by the time you realize the mistake, it's already too late to fix it. There's also an element that needs to be considered: the pressure on the new offensive coaching staff. Sean Mannion is entering his first season as an NFL offensive coordinator without ever having held that role before. Adding a first-round wide receiver around Hurts and Barkley doesn't just strengthen the offense, it also takes pressure off Mannion by giving him a creative weapon that can expand the playbook from game one. The Eagles' history with their offensive line is one of the best stories in the NFL over the last decade. 4 players drafted by the organization, developed within the system, and turned into elite contributors. That is franchise building at the highest level. But for that very reason, the organization has already fulfilled its obligation to that group. It has already invested over $500 million in them. What's expected now is for that group to deliver, especially given the coaching changes that came as a direct consequence of the performance decline. Spending yet another first-round pick on a position that already consumes an enormous chunk of Philadelphia's cap would be, at best, a planning failure. At worst, it would be exactly the kind of mistake that can cost a team its entire championship window, a window that has already proven it can be reached, and that can be won. Howie Roseman is known for making bold decisions, for identifying value where others don't see it, for building rosters that surprise the entire league. And that's exactly why the expectation right now is that he resists the outside pressure, ignores the noise, and uses the 2026 draft resources to attack the team's real needs: pass rush and receiver weapons. With the draft just around the corner, a new offensive staff taking over, and Jalen Hurts needing more support around him, what would be the best decision for the Eagles in the first round? Following the recommendation to reinforce the offensive line, or investing in an edge rusher and a wide receiver to attack 2026 head-on? Drop your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to keep you updated.